The Anaheim Ducks have been one of the most exciting teams in hockey through the start of this season, and they currently sit atop the Pacific Division and are even second in the entire league with an impressive 11-3-1 record. The team is also playing an electric brand of hockey under new head coach Joel Quenneville and are scoring goals in bunches, having scored at least 4 goals in 10 of their first 15 games this season. They also happen to be on a 7-game win streak and have been taking down many of the best teams in the league. I'm here to tell you why the Ducks are off to such a hot start and why they could be here to stay at the top of the league for this year and into the foreseeable future. Over the past several years, the Ducks have been stockpiling young players, mainly through the draft and other smart trades they've made. And since they haven't been a playoff team since 2018, they've had a pick within the top 10 in each of the last 7 drafts. Not only have they made good selections in the first round, they've also been able to snag a few hidden gems in rounds 2 and 3. Players that are huge contributors on their current roster and are cornerstones of the franchise. After the Ducks decided to trade away their veteran netminder John Gibson to the Detroit Red Wings for Peter Mrazek and a 2nd and 4th round pick, they've officially given the starter's net to Lukas Dostal, the 25-year-old Czech goalie who the Ducks drafted in the 3rd round way back in 2018. Dostal has played more and more each of the last 3 seasons and was able to put up strong numbers despite playing behind some bad teams. He's got all the tools to be a very good number 1 in this league and is in the first year of his 5-year deal that pays him a very fair $6.5 million per season. In the 2019 draft, Anaheim picked Trevor Zegras 9th overall, a very skilled forward who had a great first 2 seasons with the Ducks, even finishing 2nd in the Calder Trophy vote his rookie year. But over the past 2 seasons, with a new defensive-minded coach and Greg Cronin coming in and Zegras battling injuries both years, both the Ducks and Z felt it was best for him to get a fresh start somewhere else and shipped him off to the Philadelphia Flyers for Ryan Poehling, a 2nd and 4th round pick. I'd say this was a win-win trade for both teams, as Zegras has had a great start with Philly, and the Ducks were able to acquire some future assets. In the 2nd round of the 2019 draft, Anaheim selected defenseman Jackson Lacombe with the 39th overall pick. Lacombe played 4 years of college hockey at the University of Minnesota and spent the last 2 seasons gaining confidence at the NHL level with Anaheim. He put up an impressive 14 goals and 43 points in 75 games last year, earning himself a nice 8-year, $72 million contract that pays him $9 million per year. The 6'2" defenseman is a smooth skating puck mover that can play in all situations and is already averaging over 25 minutes a night this year. He'll be a staple on that blue line for years to come and will complement many of the other young D-men that are starting to make an impact for this Ducks team. In the 2020 draft, Anaheim picked defenseman Jamie Drysdale 6th overall. He had a strong rookie season with the Ducks, but the next 2 years after that, he battled injuries that kept him out of the lineup for nearly 2 years. Then, when it came out that Flyers prospect Cutter Gauthier didn't want to play for the Philadelphia Flyers, Ducks GM Pat Verbeek jumped on the opportunity and sent Jamie Drysdale and a 2nd round pick to the Flyers for Gauthier. And as you can see today, that has turned out to be a fantastic trade for the Ducks. And this is no disrespect to Drysdale. He's a solid right shot top 4 defenseman, and he's still only 23. But Cutter Gauthier is looking like he could be a premier goal scorer in the NHL and is currently breaking out in his 2nd NHL season, still at just 21 years old. GM Pat Verbeek even said at the time of the trade, quote, "When I look at our system, our organization, and the depth of our system, we do not have a player like this in our organization." Going on to say, quote, "There's not a player like this coming." And it looks like Verbeek was right, and I would go as far as to say that there are very few players like Cutter in the entire league. Gauthier scored 38 goals in 41 college hockey games for Boston College in the 2023-24 season, more goals than anyone had scored in a single NCAA season since Kyle Connor scored 35 in 38 games for Michigan in the 2015-16 season. We've seen what Connor has turned into at the NHL level, and after a strong rookie campaign for Gauthier with 20 goals and 44 points in 82 games, this year he's taking his game to the next level, currently with 11 goals and 20 points in 15 games, tied for 3rd in goals among league leaders, and he's also leading the NHL in shots on goal per game, averaging just over 4.5. This guy's absolutely electric to watch. Not only does he have a rocket of a shot, but he also has blazing straight line speed and underrated playmaking ability. He looks like a future superstar, and if I'm Team USA, there's no way I'm leaving this guy off the Olympic roster. In the 2021 draft, the Ducks picked up another very good young forward, Mason McTavish. McTavish has had strong years each of the past 3 seasons since making his NHL debut, and is a really solid second-line center that can play in a lot of situations as well, and is coming off career highs in goals, assists, and points. In that same draft, Anaheim picked offensive defenseman Olen Zellweger in the second round, 34th overall. He's a guy that had a really good junior career and has made a positive impact in his pro career as well. He's still just 22 years old, could develop into a really solid top 4 D-man, and I think he has more to give production-wise, especially with the talented group of forwards the team has. In 2022, the Ducks drafted a 10th overall, picked up another exciting D-man, Pavel Mintyukov. He's another guy that has a ton of raw talent and hasn't quite put it all together just yet in the NHL, but he's still also very young. It's just 21. It could be one of those players that just pops off in a year or two and turns into one of the more dynamic defensemen in the league. In the 2023 entry draft, the Ducks were awarded the 2nd overall pick and selected the Swedish stud, Leo Carlsson, just after Bedard went to the Blackhawks. Carlsson showed flashes of excellence in each of his first 2 seasons with Anaheim, but this year he's taken his game to the next level, and at just 20 years old, he's currently tied for 2nd in points among all NHLers with 25 in 15 games. He's the true number 1 big centerman that every team wishes they had, and the type of player that helps you win a Stanley Cup. He's got very few weaknesses in his game, and the sky is really the limit for how good he can be. In the 2024 draft, the Ducks made a surprising decision to take Beckett Seneca with the 3rd overall pick, and after a strong junior career for him as well, he's jumped into the NHL as a 19-year-old and has looked very impressive, currently with 11 points in 15 games. He's an extremely skilled player that also happens to be 6'3", has been playing excellent on a line with Gauthier and McTavish. The Ducks also drafted Roger McQueen 10th overall in the 2025 draft. He's a 6'5" center playing college hockey for Providence this year, and will likely also be a big part of the team's future. One of the reasons why Anaheim is looking so dangerous, however, is that they also have a good mix of veterans in the lineup, including Troy Terry, who's been their best player on offense each of the last 4 seasons, and has had a strong start this year. Also, Chris Kreider, the longtime New York Ranger, who's been one of the NHL's top goal scorers since the 2021-22 season when he had 52 goals. The Ducks were able to pick him up via trade for prospect Carey Terrence and a 3rd-round pick, which I thought was a great get for the Ducks, as Kreider already has 9 goals in 11 games and is a big contributor on the power play. Anaheim also signed forward Mikael Granlund to a 3-year, $21 million deal in the offseason. He was looking good before getting hurt. Even Jacob Trouba has been solid so far, on pace to have his best season production-wise since the 2021-22 year as well. I also think that throughout the season they should get more production from veteran forwards like Alex Killorn and Frank Vetrano, who are both solid contributors each of the past few seasons for Anaheim. New head coach Joel Quenneville has been a huge breath of fresh air after Greg Cronin's 2-year tenure with the Ducks. And I know it's not all on Cronin, and the lineup isn't exactly the same now as it was with him, but the Ducks were bottom 3 in goals for both years under Cronin, and are now looking like an offensive powerhouse under Quenneville. The new-look Ducks are going to be one of the most exciting teams to watch all season long, and they're a team that could scare a lot of other squads this year. Should they continue their hot start, they will without a doubt be a team that no one wants to play come springtime.